And Chicago's status as a sanctuary city coming under heavy criticism at a House hearing in Washington. A resident from Chicago unleashing on Democrats for embracing policies that she says don't have to face in their day-to-day lives.
I don't want anybody who crossed over here illegally unvetted. I don't want them in my community. The Democratic Party is so far from reality. They go in their gated communities. I don't see any of those people that's advocating to keep these people here. I don't see them in their house and their communities.
Joining us now is Fox News contributor Karl Rove. You can tell she feels all of that. She's not reading it. Jasmine Crockett, a congresswoman from Texas, had this to say, though.
My Republican colleagues are here using today to continue pushing this false narrative of sanctuary cities harboring criminals. Yet right here in D.C., we have a 34-count felon being harbored in the White House. The hypocrisy coming from your side of the aisle over concerns regarding lawlessness is outrageous.
I feel like the Democrats seem to be, especially Jasmine Crockett, are just talking about something totally separate from what the young woman was saying from Chicago.
Absolutely. Why we pay attention to Congresswoman Crockett is beyond me. I say that as a fellow Texan. Let's think about this. In sanctuary cities, I think it was last year, 25,000 detainers were declined. What does that mean? That means ICE, the immigration people, had evidence of somebody who was in a jail in one of these cities who was here illegally, and they put they gave an order to the city saying, we want you to surrender that person to us when they're processed out of your jail. And in 25,000 instances in sanctuary cities, the city said, we are going to decline your detainer. We are not going to turn them over to you. In an additional 1,400 instances, they released somebody who was from their jail, whom they'd been given a detainer for and had not declined it, but ignored it. And so they released those people. So we're talking about 26,400 people who were in city jails, who were released, who are illegally here in this country, who were released by sanctuary city officials to go do perhaps something else that would cause them to be arrested. This is outrageous. This is not being concerned about the public safety and the order and law and order in their cities. And in these sanctuary cities, 26,000 people. Now, where are they from? This is amazing to me. Half of them were in California. And the other big groups of them are Illinois, Virginia, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. The officials in these states are not concerned, particularly at the local level, which is where this happens, are not concerned with the safety of their people. They could easily say, we're going to participate in a program called 287G, which is the federal government will come in and train your people how, if they get a detaining order, how they're supposed to respond to it, and give them access to federal databases and federal information that would allow them to identify if a criminal they have taken into their possession is here illegally.
You mentioned those other states. I want to put up on the board
cities
for everyone to see the numbers there from those other states like Illinois, Virginia, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. New York and Minnesota are also up there. And Karl, in the remaining time we have, can you explain, is it possible, many of these are blue states, or maybe Virginia you would say is a purple state, can this issue affect politics there on a wide enough scale that you would see some sort of changes maybe even this year in New York as there's a gubernatorial race, or in 2026 in the midterms?
Well, it could be an issue, but look, this is not state officials. These are local officials. So the question is, in places like San Francisco or Richmond or New York City, are you going to have people standing up, as the woman in Chicago did, and saying to the city officials, are you really, truly concerned about the safety of our people? Are you concerned about law and order in our community? If so, participate with the federal government and get these people who are in our jails, who are in this country illegally. When they leave your jail, send them out of our country. Don't release them back into our community, perhaps to do another offense that causes them to be arrested locally and held in the local city jail.
Mm-hmm. And one of those things that's important, though, is this: if you get state and locals to start to change, then you can make, one, affect policy change, which would be good, but that could also have a different effect as well federally.
Absolutely. But today we have an ability of local sheriffs to get involved in 287G, this program that gives them extra tools. What's interesting to me is that some counties and some cities do not allow their law enforcement personnel to engage with the federal government. That is willfully taking an act that says we're not going to do what we can do to protect the people in our community.
Looks like a pretty day there in Austin. Go have a good one, Karl. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.